United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
The meeting will please come to order. Then, do we have posting?
Yes.
In accordance with 551?
Yes, sir, we do.
Any members of the public who wish to speak shall have 5 minutes to address the court. Anyone from the public like to address the court? If not, we will continue on to item number 1, which is to appoint a pro-term official.
I make a motion to appoint Clyde Reeves.
We have a motion and a second that you appoint Clyde Reeves to be the pro-term official. All those in favor? All those opposed? We will continue. We will try to get through this. We will go to item number 2, which is approve the minutes of the January 17th, 2018 regular meeting and the January 25th, 2018 special meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. We will now go to item number 3, which is budget transfers, amendments, and pay bills.
We did have an amendment on there. It was for the senior services donation that was approved in an earlier court. I have since seen that deposit come through the bank, so I have a certification that goes with that amendment.
Did we ever get the work on senior services back on the road?
We're working on it.
I'll make a motion that we approve budget transfer amendment and accept the what should be to go with that
Certification.
certification, thank you, and also to pay our bill.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers, the amendments and pay bills, and accept the money for senior services. All in favor, aye. Opposed, motion carried. We'll go to item number 4, which is to approve the payroll. Is that in his form, payroll?
I'll put them up there, you all know him.
I'm looking this is loaded that you gave.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the payroll. All in favor, aye. Motion carries. We will now take reports from anyone that has a report.
I got a nice little call report.
Yes, sir.
I'll give y'all a copy of it. Might be a little early since we're on the agenda on down.
its own separate line, so I can do it now, or I can do it when you say.
Okay, we'll wait till, let's wait till we
Basically,
get.
just a report.
Okay, we'll wait till we get there, thank you. Do you know if we have any other reports
Here, in that.
in this book in here? How much do you?
So I'll make a motion that we accept the report.
We have a motion and a second to accept the reports. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We will now go to item number 6, which is to discuss salary pay grade policy in regards to transfers. I'm not sure who that is.
That was y'all,
Sir,
that was y'all, that was the commissioner.
I don't know a lot about on that. I'm just going to table that until everyone is here that they can discuss that, whatever. I don't know what we're supposed to be discussing.
Is that a motion?
That's a motion.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to discuss, to table the discussion on salary grade policy in regards to transfers. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. This will be tabled to our next meeting.
Yes.
Item number 7 is to discuss the transfer of a dispatcher to the record clerk in regard to salary.
Since the first one was tabled, I guess we need to table the next one.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we table that. Also ask, in tabling both of those, if you could give me the information of kind of what's going on that, so that I'll be in the know. So I'll make a motion that we table that too.
And I'll second that also. I mean, to get more information about it, so. We have a motion and a second to discuss the transfer of dispatcher and record clerk. To table that motion, to table that item, line item, so all in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion passed. We will table that to our next regular meeting. Number 8 is to approve a body-worn camera grant that has been revised and approved, a grant that will replace 2 previous grants. I'm not going to call all those numbers out. Freestone County Response Team Equipment Grant, Sheriff Shipley.
Yes.
Talk to us about that, please.
As you know, fully aware, we're going through our first year of grants, taking care of grants, and they gotta be exactly right and perfect wording and everything else, so we've had to redo you already approved the resolutions I had prior to this, so I'm asking that the prior resolutions be withdrawn, because these are the ones that are going to be the correct versions of those. Still the same type, body-worn camera grant, that's, the body-worn camera grant that we're trying to get for 16 body-worn cameras. And we'll also have the another hot call grant that is for the mic extenders, so we have better communication out in the field, and for vest carriers for the level 4 plates that we received from the generous donation from the high school student that raised that. Just the carriers to carry them, because all we have is the plates, so trying to get those in grants this year.
Good.
and that'll be in February when we go speak and try to.
So these grants will replace the other grants that you had?
Those grants will, yes, that's what we're asking is that these resolutions, y'all accepting these resolutions will replace the prior resolutions we returned in because they're not correct.
So do we need to withdraw the prior resolution?
No, I think that, the motion to, replace the prior ones would be
Okay.
acceptable.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and a second to have these replace the prior grants. All those in favor, aye? Opposed? Motion passes. Y'all need to sign all these.
Okay, I got a last question.
Yes, sir.
I've been seeing on the news, other departments are getting these deals put in your phone to trace calls and whatnot. Like in McLennan County where I'm talking about. And, y'all know anything about that? They getting grants on that too?
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about.
Well, I ain't either. I'm not-
You mean once you get, basically what it is once you get a search warrant, once you have all you need to get a search warrant, the department and can take that phone from whoever's it might be, then I believe that what you're just talking about is the equipment and stuff
They can
to
plug into it.
plug into it, yes. Yeah, there's stuff like that out there.
Have y'all got that too?
We don't do that here. Navarre County and Waco graciously do it when we drive up there and sit down with them and we kind of do it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That, we've been using, they've got a couple investigators up there in Navarre County that, you know, anytime I call Sheriff Tanner, they graciously find the time and sit down with us and go through it and kind of go over things together.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll now go to item number 9, and that is the presentation of 2017 activities of the Freestone County Sheriff's Department Chairmanship.
I'm pretty excited to read these. I did this after the first 6 months of making some changes to our department and the guys getting on board and taking care of business. So, and this is even better than the first 6 months, and I'm pretty proud of my guys. I want to say that first and foremost. They're the ones out there doing all the hard work, and you know, we just sit back and they're making me look good, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But the Freestone County Dispatch handled 12,878 total calls for service over the phone involving Sheriff's Office, Tick PD, Fairfield PD, Wortham PD, DPS, fire departments, and EMS. The Freestone County dispatchers handled 15,886 total 911 calls. That's unbelievable. It's constant in there. That's what I'll say. Freestone County deputies completed 477 written reports, 157 for which are considered major crimes by the state, which consist of homicide, rape, robbery, assault, burglary, theft, and vehicle theft. So 157 were considered major crimes out of that 477 reports taken, written reports, that is. Of the 157 major crimes reported, 76 of those were closed. That's 49%. SCSO deputies made 498 arrests for the year. 93 of those arrests were drug-related arrests. The highest in the last 4 years was 51 in 1 year. The average over the last 4 years was 37. And that's like a 40% increase in drug arrests. And there's no doubt in my mind that because of those drug arrests is why our crime has gone down. We've been putting people in jail, they've been staying in jail for a pretty good while, and crime's gone down. So good job on our narcotics guys. Deputies initiated 732 traffic stops. Let me go back up and say this again. Well, I'll get to it in a minute. Deputies initiated 732 traffic stops. Chief deputy's done a great job putting people in precincts for patrol to make sure we've got guys there. And in areas a lot more often than usual. We received 686 civil papers at our department and successfully served 514.
Wow.
That's good. That's real good. And that's basically 2 people handling the majority of that. So they did a good job. That keeps our other deputies on task on the street and patrolling and keeping a lookout. Jailers booked in 1,011 people and booked out 996. They're busy too. Jail population for our jail averaged 33 inmates per day, while the average out-of-county inmates averaged 34 per day. Basically, all in all, Freestone County major crime rate is down 21%.
All right.
I think that's fantastic. And I'm not tooting my horn, I'm tooting my guys' horns. That is great. And that's good for our citizens, and hopefully, that average was the state average, I mentioned a while ago, for closure rate on cases, major crimes. I said ours was 49%. The state average is 31%.
Wow.
So,
Good job.
better than the state of, that's 18% better. We are very pleased with these numbers, even though we feel like we still have work to do. We've got areas we're still working on. It's very reassuring to our department that the new philosophy and plan we have implemented this past year appears to be working, and we hope our citizens feel more reassured with the sheriff's office as well. And we thank you guys for your support this year, because I've been here for 17 years and I probably haven't seen as much support from you guys with us as I have this past year. And I want to say I personally appreciate that, and I think our guys feel it downstairs as well. So we thank you. We think we had a good 2017. We're hoping 2018 is even better. So.
We thank you.
I want to thank you too, and I want to say that I certainly have seen the increase of, it was my first year, but I noticed that there was a lot of deputies out riding the county roads in our precinct, and I really do appreciate what you guys do as far as when you call us and let us know trees are down, working with us on letting us know what size they are. And I appreciate the hard work. It's evident that it's working. When you say it's your guys, it starts from the top. You have to have good leadership, and then it comes down to the guys. So I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Anybody would like to see these reports or any of the statistics here, be glad to let you look at them after court. We will now go to, item number 10, which is consider amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between Limestone and Freestone County regarding to housing and care of inmates.
Yes, it's just the time's come to re-up our local agreement with them for housing.
Yes, sir.
Nothing's changed. We still have the exact same pay, insurance-wise, people-wise. It's just time to sign off on it again. Just that they will be our contact when we need housing assistance.
That's $38 still too, isn't it?
Yes, $38 for the first 10, and then it's $42 after that. That's the way it's been.
It gets cheaper after the first 10?
Well, hang on, maybe.
It's
It's back 42 for the,
Yeah.
40.
I think it's 42.
We just paid them 40, I checked your bill, and it was $40.
We'll leave it that way.
Then we get a $2 cut after 10 per day.
It's more for the
Anyway,
first 10, and then it
I make
gets.
that motion.
It is, $42 per day per man, 38 after 10.
Yeah.
But if they're charging us 40, then we'll roll. That's what this says.
Just a little bit. Shirley, I have just a little question before we vote on this. Are we still having problems getting those prisoners to court dates?
We are not having near as many. Now the court dates, a lot of times that's our fault. The county, our own county's own fault, because a lot of times we don't get the information in a timely manner in order to try to get somebody over there. But I think before it was a transportation problem that didn't necessarily even involve us either, because I've had to go over there and talk to Sheriff Wilson and the jail staff and Chief Agnew And there's a lot of communication that wasn't going on before that is now, because we were handling all the transports that were in that interlocal agreement. We don't do that anymore unless there is an absolute emergency. They handle their transportations. Do we still have issues sometimes? Yes, only because sometimes they're gonna be shorthanded. They had a lot of people sick here recently. So obviously, we're gonna have to assist in getting our own people back, but for the most part, it's nothing like it was.
Yeah, and I know when I read this, and I think it was in there, that they would be responsible for transporting
Yes.
whenever our inmates, they would be responsible.
bring
So
them.
just making sure that
Yes.
they're holding up their end of this contract.
They are.
Okay.
Obviously, there's times when, like I said, they had a lot of employees sick here recently. So there was probably 4 or 5 transports that we actually had to do because they didn't even really have enough money to run their own facility.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yes, that's a lot better than it was.
We have a motion and a second on the floor.
We have a motion and a second to approve this interlocal agreement with Limestone County. All those in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We will now go down to, I have item number 11 is the constable monthly reports. Now, I have gotten one, Buck, I think you gave us yours earlier when you did reports, but does anybody else have anything?
I don't actually have a report, but I have a meeting with the rest of the constables, and this is what we plan on turning in starting in February.
Okay. Is this the proposed format that you want that put into? Okay.
And so at the bottom, each one of the constable names will be at the bottom of that. I make a motion that we accept it.
Make a motion.
Oh, you have to,
We just consider, I think it's just something we just put in there and go right ahead of it.
Okay,
Do
thank
you
you.
withdraw your motion?
Yeah, just a second, have a motion.
Okay, and we go to item number 12 is to accept racial profiling reports of constables. That's what you did, Buck. We have one here from Mr. Bonner earlier, so if anybody'd like to take a look at that, then I think we've already approved that report, so we will continue on to the next one, which is item number 13, is to adopt resolution on a professional service agreement for special counseling regarding opioid litigation.
Yes, it's basically a resolution that should have been presented along with the service contract that y'all approved, a couple of commissioners' courts ago. It's just a resolution that needs to be approved through commissioners' court for them to actually start those professional services.
that's with the Bethel group,
Correct.
I make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the resolution. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Item number 14 is the Department of Public Safety interlocal cooperation contract for general stores supplies.
It's basically, again, a precursor resolution contract for us to order supplies from DPS. So our blood kits for DWI testing, gun residue kits, things like that. My office will kind of keep a supply of those and hand them out to local law enforcement agencies as needed. And so we need this contract in place so we can actually go through DPS and order those. Obviously, the contract as it stands doesn't cost any money. We would just pay through my budget as we order those things like we've been doing over the past year.
Make that motion, go into an interlocal agreement with them.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 15 is to consider the replat for Wilderness Phase 1, lot 72 and 73 to make a final plot. lot 72R, and that is in my precinct, and I've talked to Judge Green in their office, and this, Linda, is, everything is in order for them. If you just make sure that we get the pay or with the tax, all those kind of things, if you can just look over that, and then make sure we got what you need, and then we'll approve it if you have what you need.
I think it's great as long as you would have contingency that the taxes have been paid, then I don't have a better problem. It looks good to me because it's all just a reflex, it's all good.
So we just go ahead and approve it? Okay, since it's in my precinct, I'll make a motion that we approve the replat of the Wilderness Phase 1, Lot 72 and 73, into a final plat of Lot 72R, contingent upon making sure that the taxes have been paid.
Correct.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye. Motion passed. We will now go to number 16, is consider conduit government records service and agreement with the county clerk's office.
Okay, that had discussed this with you at last meeting when we didn't have the 1295. We do have it in hand, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me. It's all great, going strong, and now we can move forward for the next year.
And we have the 1295.
So I'm asking that y'all approve it so we can go forward.
And this goes to how long?
1 year.
1 year?
Yes, sir.
What's it?
It is,
31st?
November the, he has it in his hand, let's see here. You have that right there? I'm sorry, I handed it to you. All right. November the 18th of 2018. So it's November the 19th of 2012 through November the 18th of 2018 is what the deal is it's effective on October the 25th of 2017 due to me not having a contract in place. So now this here is going to be, what they say is going to get me through till they can get me transferred over to the co-file that you approved another company to come in and care for my records.
Okay, you said it's good through 21?
18th November.
Okay. All right, I see what you're
Yes,
saying. It was effective in November.
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion to this.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion to second. All in favor?
We will need this signed by the 14th.
Motion passed. We will now go to item number 17, and that will be to consider the burn ban. With no consideration on the burn ban, we will carry on to number 18. The burn ban will still stay on. We'll go to number 18, special road use agreements, contracts, permit, bonds, and consider notification of telephone construction. Anybody have road use agreements or bonds? If not, we will now go to number 19, approve bonds, elections, certificates of county officials and employees. We don't have any. You have one? Is it in here? Have you given it?
We already signed it.
Sir?
We signed it for bill.
You said,
Back. I make a motion to,
Signed there.
sir?
I make a motion to approve it, send back the book on number 19.
Okay.
I second. I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve an educational thing for Mr. Madden. All in favor, aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any comments from Commissioners Court?
I got one, I got a call, and I don't know who it's addressed to me, I guess, but a person was paying his taxes, and he said if you did it electronically, with no problem, but he wanted a self-addressed envelope to send his check back on his taxes. I don't imagine who that is.
I just have a comment, and hopefully this is an appropriate place to mention it. Tonight in Freestone County, there's a very important meeting about the high-speed rail, and I would hope and encourage that everyone would come, be there to voice your opinion. We have, Craig and I attended one last night in Leon County, and they had a large turnout. This gentleman back in the back of the room was there. There was a large turnout and a lot of opposition to it. And hopefully the people of Freestone County know that we as a Commissioners Court have done everything in our power to voice our opinions as how we feel about this. And we signed resolutions, we've done a lot of things in opposition to this. And me personally, I see no benefit for the people that I serve. It will come right through the middle of my precinct, and I see no benefit whatsoever for the citizens of Freestone County. Now, I'm only speaking for me and not everybody, because I'm sure there are people that are in favor of it. But it's going to definitely hurt some things in our area, like the speed of emergency people getting there, sheriff's deputies, what's it going to do to our roads. All those kind of things are to be considered, and I just wish that y'all would come and voice your opinion and listen, because there's some really sad stories about things that it's in families that it's disrupted, and maybe this is not the appropriate place for that, but I represent Port Freestone County, and I'm firmly against what's trying to happen here. Anyone else? The meeting is tonight at 5 o'clock.
The high school.
At the high school. And,
Probably the auditorium.
and I'm not sure, there was probably, what, 300 or 400 people there last night?
It was full, auditorium was full.
Auditorium in Leon School was full. I mean, sir, what do you think, 300 or 400 people there?
I'd say, yeah, at least 300.
Okay. But anyway, I mean, it's
Did
your,
they let the people have their say?
you can,
You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
you have 3 minutes to speak. And the sheriff in Leon County spoke, and along with some other elected officials. And so, anyway, I mean, I know I'm going on here, that's just my deal, and so I just want everybody to know that's tonight at 5 o'clock at the high school in Fairfield.
Well, if I might add, at 5 o'clock, there's a beginning of a 1-hour kind of open forum where you can have one-on-one conversations with the FRA staff or the Texas Central Railroad staff. They have various visuals, plats, photographs. You have discussions with them. And during that time, you can sign up to speak. In this, you can speak for 3 minutes. The time begins at 6 o'clock. It's in the auditorium. And after 3 minutes, your time's up and the next person can speak. There must have been, I don't know, 2 or 3 dozen speakers, I would guess, last night. And they were uniformly against the high-speed rail project.
You can sign up to speak more than once if you want.
Did they cut you off if you went over 3 minutes?
It's like the Academy Awards, they play music.
The thing goes off, there's a red light sort of blinking, and then after, if you keep going, then it turns off your microphone, and then they say you're through. Basically what I saw last night. But anyway, guys, I know it's just my deal, but I want everybody in Freestone County to know that we, as Commissioners Court, have been against this, along with a lot of other people. And thank y'all for coming, and
They have it on a Wednesday night when
we're
they
adjourned.
vote.